Welcome back, Sebastian here. So time for my review of qualifying. I should say qualifying, not Grand Prix, but I'm just going to put qualifying. Okay, time for my review of qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix. So the start of Q1 was delayed by 15 minutes because I'm not actually sure why it was delayed. It seemed like they were concerned about the rain, but if that was the case, they should have gotten qualifying started as soon as possible. Russell and Gasly were under investigation right away for impeding in the pit lane, and this was something new that the FIA were going to supposedly crack down on. So we'll see if there's any result to this. After the first runs in Q1, Zhou, Sargent, Perez, Leclerc, and Sainz were the bottom 5 drivers. But fret not, Ferrari fans, you would not be eliminated in Q1. 2 to 3 minutes until rain came, according to Ferrari. So not good if your drivers are in the bottom 5. But we have really high track evolution before the rain comes. Ferrari end up 1st and 4th, and Alonso also improves to a very good top 5 position, I believe. Some teams taking extra sets of sets in Q1, so usually you only take 2 sets in Q1, 2 sets in Q2, and then usually 1 or 2 sets in Q3. But some teams, it seemed like, were taking an extra set of softs in Q3 just because they weren't sure about how high the track evolution was going to be. Still not raining, but still really high track evolution towards the end of that session. So after the final runs in Q1, Zhou, Sargent, Bottas, Ricciardo, and Tsunoda were the drivers knocked out in Q1. Unfortunate for the 2 Alpha Tauris, they were looking to have a really good afternoon today, but that doesn't seem to be the case. And the entire grid was within 1 second. So I think Zhou was like 0.95, and then Sargent was like 7/10. So basically top 19 separated by 7/10 of a second. Shows really how close the field has come since 2017. 7/10 would have gotten you from Mercedes to Red Bull in 2017. So excellent to see. I know it's a shorter track, but still great to see. Q2, there was a risk of rain, it seems. Mercedes, Ferrari, Stroll, Norris all going out on a used set of soft tires for the first run, which is a bit strange if you think rain is going to come. Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Gasly, Albon, Alonso are in the drop zone with 5 minutes to go. Everyone was really on different run plans for the first 8 minutes of the session. But they all kind of go out for that final run. And on that final run, the times for most drivers were not improving. Basically everyone except for Hamilton did not improve their time. Albon, Magnussen, Gasly, Ocon, and Hülkenberg are all knocked out in Q2. So that means we have 5 teams in Q3, the Red Bulls, Ferraris, the Astons, the Mercedes, the McLarens. Yes, and McLaren's good. So into Q3 we go. Very, very dark clouds just outside of the track, suggesting that very heavy rain is coming in. And it looks like I wrote down the first lap is crucial. So it looked like we might only have a 1 lap shootout for Q3, and that's exactly what we get. So Verstappen, extremely quick, sets the benchmark 3 purple sectors, a 1:10.797. Leclerc second, Stroll, surprising driver in 3rd place, didn't expect him to get there. And then Piastri goes off at Jinsao, bringing up some yellow flags, which definitely hurt Perez. Wasn't able to set a particularly good lap because he had to lift off at Jinsao. Sainz also had a moment earlier in the lap, I think, turned one of the earlier corners. We just saw a replay of it. But after that, the session is red flagged. Rain, extremely heavy rain starts falling, so much so that the interviews that are usually out in the paddock area where the fans can watch, they actually had to have it in the FIA garage where the safety car and the medical car were. So that was something. But yeah, session red flagged, 4 minutes to go, and it was not resumed. So the final result stands. Verstappen takes pole position. I didn't watch practice this morning. I kind of just woke up before qualifying to watch qualifying and do the video, so I haven't actually seen the results. Don't know if it was different from FP1, but it's the result we get. So Leclerc second, Aston Martin, really good result from them, 3rd and 4th. Bit of a surprise to see Stroll ahead of Alonso, but he looked good throughout all of qualifying. Hamilton 5th, Russell 6th, Norris 7th. He was very frustrated with himself, thought he had the pace for pole. 8th Sainz, 9th Perez, 10th Piastri, of course, with that moment. 11th Hülkenberg, 12th Ocon, 13th Gasly, 14th Magnussen, 15th Albon, 16th Tsunoda, 17th Ricciardo, 18th Bottas, 19th Sargent, and 20th Zhou. So that was qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Bit of a short review, but honestly there wasn't a whole lot happening, especially with the only really having half of a Q3 session there. But I want to end off with my 3 big talking points. I think the first one will be the rain. Obviously, the rain coming in very late, and I do think that, yeah, that definitely will be a big talking point. The second, I think, will be Aston Martin. I think I was not expecting them to have a 3rd and 4th in qualifying. It's a really, really good result for them, especially after their struggles in COTA and in Mexico. So they'll be very happy about that. Third, let's see, I think, let's see, what should we go with? I think I'll go with the Alpha Tauris. I think really disappointing session from them. I think they were at least at bare minimum expecting to get into Q2 with those upgrades. Looked very good at Mexico. I think they weren't expecting for as good of a result as Mexico, but they were still expecting a decent result. I think both cars getting knocked out in Q1 is not a decent result. So, of course, the beauty, I guess, in some way of the sprint weekend is that we get to do all of this again tomorrow. So, we have sprint qualifying, sprint, and then the main Grand Prix. I don't know if I'll be doing sprint qualifying. I know the reviews on those videos have not been particularly good. And realistically, they basically become irrelevant 4 hours later when we eventually get that sprint. So, that's all for my review of qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.